At Mint Mobile, we're always looking for innovative.
Hello, folks, and welcome to Timberborn. So, we're going to be playing continuing a playthrough that we've already been playing. Let me lower the audio a little bit. Um, and we can kind of get started. I have a bunch of mods installed, so those will be coming up. But as they come up, we can kind of discuss their purpose and the benefits of them. Hopefully you all can hear me. I I'm a little bit new to streaming, and I've been fiddling a little bit with my setup. So if there's any issues, please let me know. Or if there's anything else you'd like to chat about, definitely eager to get to know what people are interested in and why they watch Timberborn streams. Particularly because I also watch them to see how other people play. So we are continuing a Folktales playthrough. There's a few things to note. We're playing a custom map. This map in particular was the winner of the most recent Build-A-Map competition, and so it's a really good map. I'm really happy with it. It's been a lot of fun to play. So that's one. Two is the settings around the map are particularly difficult. Let's see. So I actually think this is the next to hardest map in the game. So I'm going to create a text for that. Um, the game settings are pretty difficult. So the text is water consumption is 2x, twice the water consumption, twice the food consumption. Oh, it's coming across the screen. Twice the food consumption. Um, bad tides, or the drought, is 8 days initially, and then grows by 8, and then it grows by 8 days. The bad tide is somewhat similar, a little bit easier. I like to make my bad tides a little bit easier. 4 days initially, and then it grows by 4 days. And if you're curious how I actually inputted these settings, I'll explain that real quick. Essentially what you can do is you can say that your season will be oh, hold on. How come I don't see the map? It's a little bit interesting. The map hasn't updated. Okay. Um, I'm a little bit all over the place. Let me just finish this up. The wet season is 8 to 12 days. The drought is 8 days initially and grows by 8, and then the bad tide is that. And that's kind of the most important information about that. What we can do, and what I want to do, is game settings. Let's make sure that that is somewhere relevant, but not super relevant. does look like that's moving across the map, but that the game itself is not moving. So let me add another window capture instead of a game capture. Oh, no, I want then a display capture called game 2 and nope. Okay, and then hopefully that will work. Alrighty, let's move around here. Okay, it seems to work. It seems to work. Great. Let's make sure the settings are a little bit higher so that we can see them. And awesome. Great. So I was explaining a little bit how we make this kind of grow indefinitely. And so the way that I was able to do that is you start with you set the number of cycles it takes to get to the max amount. You need 100 cycles, and starting at 1. So the first cycle is 40% of the duration, and then each time you cycle proportionally until 100 cycles. And so I've never played a 100 cycle before today. And the bit that really is just frustrating is I'm gonna stop playing this game before it gets here. Or maybe not. Maybe it keeps going because it's playing before it stops sharing. That we don't need to worry. It just keeps replaying for the duration of the game. So you just finish your cycle 5 with a winning time. So if you had a 24-day winning time on one cycle, that was quite challenging. You can see the amount of water we have. So in the main water area, the depth of night is quite low, and so other district, it's got a lot less water. So that's sort of where we're at. Any questions? I will talk you through them, but definitely send any questions around the chat. Or if you want me to ask you guys questions, please let me know. So let's talk a little bit about that since that's the things that we're going to be talking about in a little bit. And so one of the first things is, of course, we have building this into a much better shot than our shot. So really what you want to try and do while shooting is quite close, about 7 facing sides. So we have a few paths along the stairs in this game, which I think are quite nice to be able. You'll also notice already that ladders are one of my favorite things in the game. Oh no! Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is this better? Better or no? The in-game sound is at like 80%. Okay. Um, okay, how are we now? I'm gonna keep talking. Let me know how it is. But Wisco, it's so good to see you. Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, it's good to see you. Sound is fine? Okay, awesome. It's a little bit loud. I'm trying to like figure out where the good audio is. I do like the game background. I do think it like gives like a nice little like auditory. And honestly, I think the game devs really did an excellent job getting the audio right. So playing this game with audio is super important. I'm also going to move the settings a little bit over. Um, Great. So I've been thinking about this game a lot this last week as I've been working on my day job, and I've been really looking forward to playing this a little bit more for a few reasons. We're really close to like unlocking a bunch of super high impact things. One of the things I was thinking about at the end of the last game was the medium tank, and I really do think we're going to be unlocking it just because if you look globally, we do have a bunch of gears. Um, So I was kind of walking through where we're at in the game, and a great way to kind of look through that is to go through the um, go through all of the things we've unlocked. So we've unlocked wooden stairs, we've unlocked platforms. All of this is still locked. A thing we definitely want to unlock soon is all of this zip line stuff. Definitely going to be a huge efficiency boon, but also it's part of the new patch. So very exciting stuff there. In terms of the landscaping, two of the most important buildings, the levee and the floodgate. Levee, like, it's just like one of the most used buildings ever. That and stairs are so critical, especially in the early game, but just like throughout the game. We haven't really unlocked any more storage. We're talking about medium tanks. One of the things I would love to unlock is large warehouses, but honestly, large warehouses are so punitive. Not punitive, they're just so expensive, right? 80 logs, lots of logs. And you can really just build a lot more medium warehouses until you run out of space. And so I would love for that because we do sort of start to get to our limits. We haven't unlocked any of the district management stuff. I think that's worth thinking about is the builder's hut. We have two districts that aren't anywhere near our limit for building beavers, so we're not likely thinking about that. But the district crossing would be super powerful. And the reason for that is our main district is producing all sorts of resources that we don't have in our second district. We could think about building them and constructing them there, but there's just not very many good places. Particularly, we need places that allow for water. And really, the only one would be kind of over here, and that's not a whole lot of space. Maybe we'll think about it. Maybe we'll talk about it. But for the moment, it's worth kind of like thinking about, are there other places that are good? Housing, haven't unlocked anything. Housing is cheap and useful to unlock, so maybe we'll do it at a certain point, but we definitely really want that science. We've unlocked virtually all of our food besides the beehive, and this is a really good thing to rush. This is one of my favorite things to rush for two reasons. One is food is a necessity for your beavers, and two, it gives you a ton of things for well-being. And then lastly, it has two of the best foods, namely cattail crackers and bread are just so productive for your beavers simply because you can produce a ton of them. We were talking a little bit about wood. So we unlocked the forester, definitely the first thing, one of the first things you unlock, if not the first thing. They've even changed the science to be 30 science in the new patch, which feels, it wasn't prohibitive before, but since it's really the first thing you're unlocking, it's definitely good that it's a little bit lower. We've started to unlock gears. This was a recent thing late in the game last, simply because we spent so much time doing other things, but this also allowed us to do a lot of the food stuff that we've been doing. And then finally, we unlocked Tapper Shack. That's simply to work our way to Observatory. Haven't done anything for metal. For power, we've done the small windmill, which has honestly been super helpful. We have one here, and we have one all the way over here, or we actually have two over here. Both very useful things. Nothing for science. For well-being, well-being is also one of those things where you unlock very early on because a lot of them just require logs and planks, particularly the Lido. The Lido is one of those things I really like to rush, and it's because it covers two things. It covers wet fur, and it is a bonus in and of itself. And so one of the things I almost never unlock is the shower because I just think the Lido is just a much better way of getting access to that. And decorations are similar. There's 4 of these decorations early on that give you boosts to resources: the hammock, the shrub, the lantern, and the roof. And all of those just are wooden planks. There's also another one that's wooden planks. It's a lot more expensive, both in terms of science and in terms of wood. So maybe we'll think about unlocking it. We'll probably think about unlocking it if we have a ton of those resources. We also have not unlocked our monument. Once we get an abundance of science, we'll think about it, but we're not quite there yet. So one of the things that I like to think about is, what is the limiting factor in my settlement at this given time, right? What is the limiting factor? And there's really 3 things that kind of meet this. It's either water, food, or beavers. And so I will kind of give you like a second. I'm going to ask in chat, what do you think is the limiting factor in my settlement? I know Wisco 98. I keep thinking Wacko, but Wisco 98. I know you've been around for a few of these playthroughs, so you might have a little bit more context. But if you haven't if you don't remember, that's absolutely understandable. But I will definitely ask this question: what is the limiting factor? Food, water, beavers. Um, and so we'll talk about that in a little bit. It's a good question to be thinking about. And as we play it, this is definitely one that is top of mind. So before we start, let's kind of see where our priorities are at. One of the things we were thinking about, and actually, this is a bad one. And the reason that's a bad one is because this is going to fill up with bad water before it fills up with good water. Seems like water is. Yes, that's 100% the one I'm thinking of. I think food is one that I've actually started to really climb into, and I'm not super worried about food these days. Beavers is definitely a valuable one because I have so many things that just I have trouble filling, having enough beavers to do all of the things I need to do, but I can't get more beavers until I get more water. So water is the big one. Without water, no beavers. Without water, no green space. So also no food. Yeah, water is definitely one of the trickiest ones, um, or one of the most important ones. So that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about the medium warehouse or the medium tank before I finish up the, sorry, before I go for the science building. So I'm going to unlock this. It's 120. It's going to push back my science goals a little bit. I'm going to start thinking about places. I was planning one over here. I'm planning one over here. I know I was thinking about one right over here. The question is, which one of these is going to be a priority? I don't quite know quite yet. It might actually be this one. But at the end of the day, the general idea that I'm going for is let's make sure. Oh, and I see a path that's not connected. And so just to make sure that there's always an efficient way to navigate the map, let's put that path around and then let's put a thing. No big dam yet, or such a thing that isn't useful in such a hard difficulty. So there are definitely spots for a big dam. And there's a few like competing thoughts that are challenging. One is how many resources a big dam takes, right? So if a big dam was cheap, we would do it. But a big dam requires a forester to plant forest. It requires water near that forest to keep it growing, and it requires lumberjacks to chop that, right? And so that requires a few beavers, and it requires a lot of an abundance of water. And so I'm globally at around 312 wood. In terms of levies, I'd roughly be able to spend that on 30 of these levies, right? So even here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, right? So that would be roughly half of them. So I can make roughly twice the size of that. And then another 2, 4, right? So we were 14, 18, right? So this would be 2/3 of my wood into levies, and that's not even the ones in this district, right? Most of my wood is actually not in this district. And so I want big dams, but I also want to take advantage of the natural terrain to build big dams, right? So we have a 2-tier dam going all the way around this map, and it's easy to expand in these few key choke points where water can kind of flow through. There are a few more places I'm thinking about dams. One is up here would be a phenomenal place for a dam, right? We already have natural ridge on one side and on a second side. So if we built up only this side, we'd be able to fill it up. But if you just count even the number of spaces, right, that's like 6, that's another 6, right? So now we're at like 18, right? To even increase this one level is about 20 levies, right? And that's all the wood we have on this map. So we really want to be super strategic when we're trying to figure out where to place levies. We have a few that are in some important spots, right? Like this is another great choke spot. We have a little bit of a dam here. We have 4 levees, 4 of these floodgates, and they really let us build a dam. I have considered expanding this dam down, and this might actually be a really good spot for a dam in this game. Another spot is here. We have a tremendous amount of like natural mountain to build against, right? So if we just dammed across here, we would be able to take advantage of all of that natural dam. We already have a dam here, so we could build this up higher, and then we could get a 3-tiered dam if we just got here. The problem is there's 2 bad water sources, one there and another one there, both of which come down there. I have ideas of how to block that off. One is this dam can kind of go this way to the right. This dam here, I'm actually considering there's the either the dome or the bad water rig. Sometimes I actually like just rushing the bad water rig. And then lastly, the real best place for a dam, and this is why I really like this map, is this right here. You see that in the mini map that we see that this dam is actually red, right? Because this is all bad water. Bad water's been flowing in. Bad water flows in through here. It comes down here. When there's a bad tide, bad water flows in. But this is such a good dam. The reason for that is we can cut it off with just a minimal amount of work, right? If we just cut off right over here, we have a few more key spots. I think there's like one over here, and there's like a little bit over here, but we really can get a really high dam. And so what I'm hoping to do is keep building up our dams, our existing like small dams here, and eventually start migrating our way over, right? In the meantime, it would also be great so you have a question. Is closing it off with overhangs and stuff an option? It's way cheaper than the real closing building. I did it on Thousand Islands. Oh yeah, this is a crazy place. Okay, closing it off with overhangs. Yes, I have mixed feelings. I have considered particularly, so there's a few things. One is like if I just build this here, it doesn't go high enough, so you need to dig above it and then seal it off. It's worth thinking about. Another place I was actually thinking about doing something similar is just on this side, right? If I built towers all the way up, theoretically, I could prevent a bad tide with something like that. I'd have to, ideally, I have sluice gates at that point, and that's something that we hopefully will get to at this point in this game. And I know I've been talking a lot. We'll get started pretty soon. But yeah, cutting these off with kind of the most efficient amount of resources is important. And it's really a strain of, one, how many beavers are you putting to use building that thing, right? We have spent most of the game with only 1 or 2 beavers in the district center. That's simply because our population and our water supply and our food supply up until now has not really been able to handle more beavers. Our food supply now can. Our water supply is a little bit tough, but that's also kind of the cart and the horse, right? If we build a bigger dam, our water supply can handle it. So maybe we make that risk. But in the meantime, there are going to be a few more strategic places to think about. One of them is going to be over here. Another one is over here. And so those are definitely going to be the things we're prioritizing in the next 8 to 12 days of the wet season while we have a wet season. Because what we don't want to do is take a big dam project and not finish it and then just kind of be fucked. Yeah, and just not be able to handle it. So let's kind of plan out a few more potential spots for water, just so that we have all of these. This one's going to be one of them. Are you going to grow in time? You may or may not grow. I really want, ideally, I want some things that are near the water consumption or water sources, water making processes. So what I could do is think about building you here. That's nice for a few reasons. Well, actually, I do want that there. And then what we can do is make sure this and this are like that. And so at one point, we'll probably be thinking about it. We do want to be making sure that we build these before the wet season ends and even much before the wet season ends. And the reason for that is that if the wet season ends and we're building these things, we don't get to take advantage of the fact that we have more storage. Okay, so we have a little bit more. We've started thinking about our expanded water consumption. We are actually, honestly, I am going to be prioritizing you. We have you. There's an interesting question of like, would I feel like this is better? And I actually do. This is going to take a little bit more planks, a little bit more resources. But the reason that this is a little bit better is it's 1, 2, 3 more steps from here. And really, when we're playing at this game, it really is about efficiency. It's about making sure that we are as efficient as possible. So that's going to be that priority. We have a few things. The bad water is going to be coming here. A thing that I do want to think about, and I didn't do this right, I should have built that there, is can we dam this off? This is going to also be another small dam that we can work off of. Okay. We have a few water. What are we prioritizing in terms of building? We have some buildings over here. In fact, well, yeah. I think we are starting to think about, oh, I sort of like the idea of growing this way first. And the reason for that is I know very quickly I'm going to be damming this up. And so it's pretty valuable for me to just be thinking already about the next places I'm going to be working. Another thing to be thinking about is eventually we want to be taking advantage of this power. We want to bridge this gap over here, or we want to build something over here, or we want to build something over here. There's also a ton of timber down here that we have not thought too much about. So maybe at some point we'll be thinking about it. Okay, anything else? How many do we have here? I do want both of those things. Okay, let's also let's just start playing the game. Let's see how this is going. This is at 20%, 20% of 30, right? That's 1/5 of 30. That means we are 6 days in. We have another 24 days. That's scary because a bad tide will wipe this out, and it's not even clear that a good tide will give us all the resources we need. So that's a bit tough. We are starting to get the water to come in though, so that is exciting. Is there any water there? Maybe, maybe not. Um, you're going to chop a little bit more. On some level, I don't want you to be taking things away. Oh, it's an interesting outcome to build first, simply because it's going to block this up and move this up. Not really that negative, so I don't really care. For that reason, I like those 3x3 ponds, even though it's inefficient beaver use. Are you talking about when you build like a little, I'll pause it, like, I know you shouldn't have the edges. Well, that's a 2x2, right? So it'd be like this, right? And you use this to irrigate a bunch of land. But you have no downtime with food and timber growth. Yeah. So there's a big trade-off there. One of them being that you have a beaver either you have a beaver building manning it, or you have to micromanage it a lot. Um, and so it is possible that this particularly up here would be a really good spot to do it. And maybe I should be thinking about that, right? In particular, right, if we're thinking we have a nice, like, natural thing to build off of, we have, I know we were talking 3x3. Um, could we do a 3x2? That's not quite as efficient. Um, yeah, the range is insane. It's a bit tough. I will think about it. Um, I guess a lot of it depends is if we have a bad tide. Because if we have a bad tide, we we're a little bit fucked. I don't think you will get the benefit. Um, yeah, I have a lot of surface area for water that does stick around, right? So this is irrigated for a lot of the game. Eventually, I do want to irrigate this area, and like, look at this. Look at all of this water. It's eventually going to be um, bad tide coming in, and it's eventually going to be bad. With a 3x2, I don't think you will get the benefit, but I don't know the math behind it. I just copied 3x3 because it's from somewhere. So I followed this on Reddit, and this is what I think I've heard. Or this is a lot of the math behind like evaporation. The way it works is things evaporate faster if it's near a bunch of edges. So if you have a 1x1, this has edges on all four sides, and so the evaporation rate is higher, and I assume the irrigation range is lower because of that. And so if you have a 3x3, if you have a 3x3, the outside ones still have two edges of water or three edges of water, but the middle one has all four edges of water. So it meets that highest tier criteria. And that highest tier criteria is how many edges do you touch of water. And so since it meets that highest tier criteria, it's going to expand its water as far as possible. And so that is how I've been told the evaporation works, and I think that was actually from the like dev explanation of it. And so I assume a similar mechanic plays into the world of irrigation range. Okay, so we're building that up. Are we doing this yet? We are doing this. I don't want to prioritize that just yet. We have a decent amount. How are we doing on power input versus maximum? That's rough. That's rough. Is it worth building out another tower? This might be worth just pausing cattail crackers. We have a lot of you. Yeah, let's just pause that. Yeah, that's roughly my best guess. And I don't know. I really like speculating on things and then being proven wrong. I think it's actually helped me a lot in my career, which is like a little ironic thing that I would say is because I I like being proven wrong. I like when the things I say are like eventually someone's like, oh no, that's actually wrong. And so I will speculate endlessly. I'll try to like qualify it as best as I can. I've been bitten in the ass by confidently asserting things that were in fact false. And so now I try to qualify it, and I'm like, I think, but I still like trying to assert my best guess for why things happen and being correct and like listening to people as they correct me. Eventually, I'm going to build another tier. And this is also where I want to start building out my uh, bots. And bots are going to play a really important role in this game. We have one of you. What are we building out first? We built this. Oh, and we finished this. So pretty soon this will actually start overflowing. And a similar thing. This just doesn't have the power. And you're low on food. Yeah, right. I'm glad I didn't come here because this water's coming this way. Eventually, it will be pushed out. Eventually, this will start flowing. We'll start, well, it actually flow, make sure it starts flowing. Eventually, it'll start flowing that way. How are we doing on water? 1 depth, right? So it takes roughly a full day for this kind of reservoir to fill up, right? And this is 1, 2. I haven't measured the strength of these, and I know some people do that, and that's actually a really smart idea. There's roughly 4 water sources. Usually water sources are about 2 CMS. And so this dam fills up in roughly a, 1 day was that. A second day will take it up to another level, plus a little bit extra, fill that up. We'll get this dam, and so we'll roughly have maybe, let's hope you're not coming this way. Your district center. What are you building? What are you building? What are you building? Let's hope you're grabbing wood and going this way. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Because if you started building on this, you're just going to get sick, and that's not going to be good for my game. Okay, where else are we at? We have a decent amount of water here. We have a decent amount of food, or not food, of logs. We're a little bit low on food. Let's make sure we're starting to do that. Where did we take workers from? You. We just have so much food here, we don't really care. We don't care about you. You're an important part of this game, but you've done a lot of the work we wanted you to do already. You're pretty unimportant. You're an overflow. Okay, so we're in a pretty good spot. We also just started getting wheat. This is right at the tail end. I was waiting to see if our water would expire, and it turns out it didn't. So it's fine. Okay, and we can unpause that water. Where else do we have water? Unpause that water, unpause that. Okay, now we're gonna have a few more challenges with getting beavers. We have 8 now. Okay. One thing I've been thinking about is just expanding our colony. This is tough because there's just a lot of things we want to be doing. But it really would be nice to get a bunch more beavers. How are we? We have a lot of kids. How? Maybe our workday's been too long. Let's grab one of you. Expand one of you at some point after stream. Maybe something you want to look into. Okay. I will open this in another. A bot to auto block ban follow bots hate raids on Twitch. Okay. Oh, I see you're actively moderating for me, so thank you. Yeah, I try to improve my stream a little bit every single time. I'm not trying, like, way back when I like kept thinking about streaming, and I just kept I was always like thinking of a new thing I wanted to do before I started, and so I have a tendency to let perfect be the enemy of good, and this is also like a professional thing. So this is me getting into it. I just like things being good, and when I know they can be better, I want them to be better. But I've sort of accepted that one of the best ways to do this is, in fact, to just start and be incremental. So recently, I hopefully I fixed my audio stuff, changed a few things. I've changed some of the settings around the audio inputs. I've added the audio capture for the stream sound. Hopefully that fixes it. I was also trying to do a few more things that didn't quite work out. One of them is separating out the audio from the game into like a VLC stream. And so I saw that you can stream audio from YouTube to VLC and then stream that into OBS. And I want to do that for the Timberborn sound because I want it always playing at all times. Had a little bit of challenge with that, didn't quite work out. Um, and then what was another one I was trying to do today that didn't work out? Audio sounds perfectly fine now. Oh, awesome. I'm glad. I did that on my OBS. I know how to set it up. So I had trouble with VLC. It just kept giving me an error when I tried it using a network source. So if you would love to help or if you have any resources to share, I'd be very eager to see that. But I definitely did have the challenge with it. Depth of 145. We're going to put this up a little bit more. Hopefully this is still growing. We have one of these open, and one of the reasons we only have one of these opens, is there's an edge here, and only a limited amount of water can flow past one edge. And so since only a limited amount can flow over, that limited amount does flow over and spins this, while the rest of it fills it up, and then the rest of this is at 0.9. And so ultimately, the kind of idea is first I want to be flowing water just for the energy and the productivity there, but then I want it to be filling up the basin. I know how to set it up. Wait, what is VLC? Oh, what you want with VLC. So VLC is the like a video player, and it can play YouTube videos locally, is what I've been what I read and was started believing, but it just didn't work for me, and so I had challenge with that. This is a little bit not flowing quite how I'd want it to. A little bit overflow. So let's get a little bit. Let's go down to 8.5 across the board. 8.5. Although oddly enough, it looks like this is where it had trouble overflowing. So let's get that. If you want, you can hit me up on Discord and we can figure something out. So, oh, that was another thing I did. I actually created a Discord channel. This is actually something I created after the first time you asked about it. So you want to set this up for stream? What is your plan there? Are you asking about Discord or for the audio for VLC? For the audio, I was trying to make sure that the VLC, that's just to make sure that audio is always playing. Because when I click away, the audio stops playing, and it's just like a little bit of a not quite what I want. Anyway, that's a Discord invite to my server. I'm actually in the chat, so if you want to come in and you want to chat, welcome to the channel. Okay, so we built that house. That's awesome. Hopefully we also built this house. Yeah, we got two. And a thing we'll definitely want to do is just generally have storage. It's a good thing to just have as not the lowest priority, but as just like a lower priority, because I don't care that it's built anytime soon, but I want it built over a bunch of other things that I don't care about. Same with this. This is sort of in that category of how are we doing? Saying we're shrinking. Maybe some other time. I don't speak well in English, so probably better for the stream when I don't join. Haha. Oh yeah, you're from Germany. That's right. Hey man, you type very well in English, and if you ever want the practice, I've been trying to work on my language skills as well. My family's Polish, so I picked up like a. It's funny. My cousin has kids. One of them is 10 years old, and I asked her what her kids are reading because I'm like, one, this seems about the the like language capabilities that I'm at, and then two, like what'd be cool is like talking to my cousin's kids about like their favorite books. So, oh, you're Polish as well. Movies football to school? I know there's a lot of in the US we call them expats. I don't know if that's relevant for other languages, but you don't speak a word. Ah, classic. But I know that I was looking at a map of where all the Polish people went, and a lot of them went to the US. Quite a few went to Germany. Not surprisingly, right? Like they're very close neighbors. And given Polish preferences on their kind of Eastern neighbors, I'm not surprised that they decided to go uh, west instead. So, all right, what should we be thinking about? We're actually starting to get to gears. That's honestly pretty good. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. We're getting better on beaver numbers. This is one of those where it's like, do I want you? You know what I do want? I want you prioritizing oak. Oak is so important for you. How are we doing here? We are going to finish this up soon. Um, okay, we were building the wood here, and the reason we want to build that is so that once we do, we'll probably start it soon. Once we do dive deep into building this out, we want to be going strong. So that's going to be a priority. We're going to grab that. And then honestly, I'm also going to clear you out. Because if there's a real possibility that I get to um, enough of these resources for 2 of these medium water tanks. And when I did the math, right, so these water tanks are 300 water. I have, I consume about 6, no, I think it's 4 water per day, right? So these will give me roughly 75 water beaver days, something like that. I don't know what the units is. um, let's call it water beaver days. And so, given that we have a 32-day drought coming up, it's a little bit more than 2 beavers, right? So just adding one of these. So just by adding one of these medium water tanks, we support 2 extra beavers through the drought. And so this is going to definitely help with our like big limitations around um, what is our big limitation? It's around water, right? So we talked about a few things. The question now is, which one do I want? That's coming. What are we at here? We're at 9. We're going to sync you up. You're going to go up to 9. You're going to be at 8. So the benefit of that is you're slowly going to push all of this water out. The problem is we're on day 3 already. How are we doing there? Um, let's build you. You're going to go pretty quick. Let's grab you quickly. Do you get a chance to join the Discord? Actually, I don't have. Usually, I have in other Discords where it logs who joins. I don't think I set that up, but if you ever want to talk in Discord, just chat or whatever. Um, a little bit soon. Okay. This is coming together well. One of the reasons I want to do that, I do also want you to fairly quickly address your own kind of things. Okay, do we start thinking about adding another beaver? Yeah, let's start adding. And we're slowly climbing up in science. Not nearly quickly enough, but how are we at for housing? We have a lot of housing. Maybe we go down to 16 days, just simply because we need water. In OBS, I've set separate audio tracks for everything. For example, I've set Spotify so that you can hear my music in the stream, but you can't hear it in the VOD because of the copyright law. The audio in the VOD is often blocked if you leave the music in. Alternatively, you can, of course, use free music. I joined the Discord. Awesome. Oh, cool. Well, um, okay. I'm actually just going to copy and paste that into the um, one of the channels, uh, just so I have that message. So I wanted, yeah. So that's definitely in line with what I want to do. I want to separate out a bunch of audio so it's independent, right? And you mentioned a few things that are definitely super valuable. One of them being it would be nice for, sorry, I'm thinking about the game. It would be nice for all of the um, for to be able to play like copyrighted music and then have a stream that doesn't have copyrighted music, right? Or and to be able to like be a little bit more liberal with the rules for myself, and then where I'm going to be banned to like not play copyrighted music, right? I actually I tried confirming if the Timberborn music is copyrighted. I'm hoping not, because like it's part of the game soundtrack. I assume they want people playing the game and listening to the soundtrack, but I actually was not able to confirm that. So who knows? Maybe this will be an issue, and I'll have a banned video at some point. So yeah, I think game music. It would be. I would have trouble like imagining why they would, but it's weird that that answer wasn't immediately available somewhere. So oh, what a fun quirk. You know what? No, I want to move this ladder a little bit to make it a little more efficient. But what's going to happen is I'm just not going to have the time to build this up. How are we doing? That's going to be built soon. That's going to be great. Oh, and then this is now opened up. But I didn't read something about it. Would be weird if they strike you for that. Yeah, exactly my thoughts as well. All right, so we have 3 water pumps. It's a little bit weird that that's not meeting our needs. It might be our population's growing. What's the efficiency on these? 77, 87, 74. Surprised this is the most efficient, right? Because this actually has storage nearby. Not all of it's put to use. Okay, maybe I should prioritize these actually. Oh no, you know what actually that is? I just don't have enough of you. And that sucks. Because now what are we at? Oh, we have 6 beavers in here. One of the things I do like is moving all of my main beavers or all of my kits into the district with the most and now we have 2 beavers not working. We have 1 not working. And now challenge actually is going to be You have carrots. Do you have carrots? You do have carrots. You have a decent amount of carrots. Um, which one should have more? I think you should have more. But what I noticed is there is no in-game sound at all at the moment. Is that planned? No, it's not planned. Is there in-game sound right now? Do you hear that or no? Nope. Oh, what? What about now? Oh, do you mean like audio versus like clicking stuff? I think I heard stuff. I'm gonna put it on max. Okay. Do you hear this? Or is this too loud? Now there's music. Okay. Okay, let me know if it's too loud. Before that, is this, are you saying it's too loud and you want it back to before? Now it's too loud, okay. I think it's back to where it was before. Let me know one more time if it's good or not. Sexy. Okay, perfect. Okay. Another thing to note is that this finally cleared out, and so we're able to do a few things. One is, oh, this got finished. How are we doing? This one's starting to get up here in both of these things, so that's awesome. But I do actually want to prioritize that, and I really want to prioritize this. There's a real chance that actually what I want is 2 beavers here working. There's a small challenge with how many beavers I have. You're planting. You are not planting. Okay. I'm going to add another worker here. That's great. Do you upload the stream after you're done? Seems like you do. Yeah, so I think I just set it so that it auto uploads. I do have recordings on OBS. I make sure I always click the recording. And so if that's not the case, I can change it, or I can go around and do it. Yeah, they really do have good primary settings in a lot of these things. Some of them do require a little bit of work, but for the most part, I'm definitely happy. Okay, so we're gonna build these two. That's awesome. Let's make sure there's water and water. This district didn't quite need water though, and so for that reason, probably gonna pause that. I have considered, ideally I'd have another water source right here. And when I built this, one of the things I realized is actually this is a really good spot for a water pump because it's right near where all of my beavers stay. But, all right, that's a decision that I would have to undo. And actually, maybe I move over the grill right over here. Maybe it's worth thinking about. All right. I also haven't thought about where my next point of well-being is. It's not going to be the Agora. It might be the carousel. It might be the detailer. Probably be some of the decorations. The Scarecrow is probably the easiest one. It's a little bit out of the way. We'll think about it. Okay. Looks like we're getting a bit more water. Supply versus power. Okay, you just chatted me. As a bookmark if you already saved it. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yes, I will definitely keep that. Fortunately, I'm not popular enough to have bots come in here. All right, how we doing on kits? Oh, a thing. Well, hold on. Did I mess this up? I think this is full on kits. And oh, it's a bit full on floodgates. Eventually, there's a technique to add another tall floodgate to connect all of these, right? So all of these are separate because they're not synchronized to adjacent because there is nothing adjacent. But if I put buildings here, even if they're not built, they will maintain the synchronization. And so as soon as we get enough science to do that, we can even do that without one. We should do it. How are we doing here? We're close to building you. Honestly, we'll probably build that in a reasonable amount of time. How are we doing? That should be enough. Let's go back to making cattail crackers. And eventually we're gonna need a place for wheat. Do we have a few things? One is do we have anything for wheat flour? And then don't necessarily like blocking it. And this isn't a great spot, but the reason I don't care too much is because eventually we're going to go for the larger ones. You're at 2 as well. That's good. It's worth thinking about is how is this going to merge in with this? Because eventually we're going to want to do something here. I'm not quite sure what. Would be really nice to get to the beaver population up higher. How are we doing? Okay. Great. This is a little bit closer to these, which are some of our most productive beavers. We're not quite there with food, though. Did I pause this? I thought I paused this. Oh, we're starting to grow beavers. You know what? That means we should start having higher population. That's actually what I'll do, is I'll unpause that. Maybe what I should be thinking about. Like I want all of that. Before I build that, I actually need to finish these. Otherwise, it's going to start flooding, and it's going to flood in both directions. There, there. All of that is important. And let's also think about how close are we to getting this. And we're actually fairly close. So we can make that normal. We can make that lower. I don't quite care about it. That roughly covers where we are at, I think. Is this priority? No, it's not priority. Let's lower that. Let's raise you. Right here, a hauler is going to be more valuable than an extra builder. And the reason for that is a hauler is going to take wood all the way from over here to here, and it's going to carry twice as much wood. because it's carrying twice as much, this distance is going to be twice as efficient in. Whereas a builder would have to go all the way, and it's nice because it can go all the way, but it's bad because it's just not able to take advantage of that 100% carrying capacity. Should also know I want a floodgate here, I think. Alright. This is a little bit of an irony, doing that first, and then, because now the closest blocks to building these are in fact here, and they're carrying it past the point and then working backwards. Maybe what we should do is have a log right there. Okay, 5 days. We are starting to get there. What are we thinking about? This was finished. That's awesome. That really is awesome. We have a ton more water. There's two things we could be doing. It's really building the dam. I don't care much about cocktail crackers. I do care about wheat. Let's prioritize getting wheat, because wheat is coming online soon. As soon as we get wheat, we can use it. But you're not being built anytime soon, sorry. It would be great to build a little bit more of a retaining pond here, but it's a bit of an expensive. What's actually more valuable is using that for over here. And we could do that in a few ways. The thing that I want to actually do, make sure I'm doing, is chopping into that a little bit more. Because I want to, one, get a lot of wood, and two, make sure this piece of wood gets removed. Ideally in a useful way. This is probably medium productivity. That's low productivity. Lots of carrots. How are we doing? 1.1k food, 250 for water, 350 for water all around. There's water capacity here. It's a decent amount of water capacity that I'm not taking advantage of over here. I guess I really will need both of these. Let's make sure again this has on export focus, and that's actually prioritized by the haulers and prioritized there. Bonsoir, evening there. Hello, Kinchak. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Timberborn. Are you an avid player of Timberborn, or are you just kind of hopping through? This is by far my favorite game of all time. So I'm very happy to be playing this. This map is called Fortitude, and it's a pretty well-named map because it kind of gives like castle vibes, right? It gives like, here's like the minaret towers. Actually, don't know if minaret is the right term. Right, it's giving like castle wall that's been like breached. It's giving like higher ground castle. So the map is called Fortitude. It was the winner of one of the latest build your own map contests, which I'm a huge fan of. The game, the community really is like incredible about doing them. So I recommend it. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's got really good tempo. And one of the things I really like is it's got really good, particularly on the tempo front, it's got really good potential for like really big dams back here, and even long term making this whole thing dammed up with water. But short term, very hard for building dams and like building reservoirs. You got a few small amounts. And one of the things that Wisco asked earlier is, can you build a big dam? And I absolutely want to, but because we're playing on 2x consumption, 2x water, and our bad tides are, now it's going to be 32-day bad tide, we're going to have a lot of trouble getting to a big enough dam. So you said, have been playing on map caverns this week, but Canadian Mountie settings. What are Canadian Mountie settings? I'm not quite sure what that is. Playing update 6 or experimental? This is the experimental branch. So I've yet to get to the zip lines. Very excited for those. But generally, I honestly keep this game on experimental. I think the dev community is, they're just really good. And I think the developers of this game are very good. They have pushed out 7 really high quality updates, and none of them are DLCs yet, which I'm a little bit surprised on. And I mean, honestly, good for them for doing that. But I like, all of these are such good like updates to the game. I even thought, like, when the game came out, and it might still be on early access, which I think is absurd, because this is way better than so many of the games that I played that are like public, and that was even true when it just came out. Did it have quirks? Yeah, here and there. Like, there were definitely some things where I was like, that's weird. But it wasn't buggy, and most importantly, the underlying like physics engine of this game is so good. The like water mechanics is so novel that it really feels like a fresh new game. Yeah, so as Wisco was saying, this is the experimental update. We haven't gotten to any of the changes. Well, actually, we've managed to take advantage of the fact that the Forester is 30 science, and they've done a little bit of rebalancing. We're hopefully going to be getting to the smelter soon, but we're not quite there yet. A lot of wood here. It's actually a lot of fun. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, I just noticed this area has 0 food. 2.9 are on hunger. Let's see what's going on. Do we need to do anything drastic is a big question. One of the big things we can do is turn this on. Is that super necessary? Yeah. Let's get that working. Let's prioritize that a little bit. One of the toughest parts of the game, and this is actually a quirk that I don't know if I love or if I hate it, but once your beavers get below their needs, right, they're losing 10, 20 negative buffs, right? So he's at -8. His walking speed is -25. That makes it harder for him to do his job and collect the resources that are necessary to get out of the negative. I somewhat wish the opposite was true, right? That negative modifiers actually increased your working speed, right? Because like hunger really makes you want to work harder, right? Or I don't know, like hunger really makes you want to like hunt and like get to food, you know, a very motivating way to like do that in particular. So there is a way, like I wish there was some work that was done faster. 500% water, 500% food. Handicap is 50%. Reimbursement rate is 5%. Wound is 250%. Can't lose a beaver except from natural old age. Wow. Okay, what? How long are your wet and dry seasons? Right, like I'd have trouble imagining any length of dry season. Right, your beavers are basically walking between water and food, like 90% of the game. I definitely appreciate the can't lose a beaver except from natural old age. There was a Reddit post. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Reddit.com settings Timberborn. This is really what inspired me to start. This was it. And let me just make this big. This was the first post where someone was creative with their variables. Food consumption 325, water consumption 275, starting food. Temperate season of 35 to 40 days, which is quite long, but even in that, super tough. And so your settings kind of remind me a little bit of this, but to an even more extreme version, which is quite crazy. So droughts are 8 to 60, bad water is 8 to 45, bad water starts cycle 3. What's your wet season? All right, like do you have a long wet season or do you have a regular? I would be surprised if your wet season is anything less than 20 days. I would imagine it's closer to what the settings we just saw, the 40 days. I could even see it reasonably being like 50 or 60 days. So that's my guess. Looking forward to what you type out just to see what you're playing with. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, the problem with that is like 15-day wet season. How far into the game do you get? Do you succeed? All right, 6 days. This was finished. Are we starting to work on that? We can. We could start working on that. It's an interesting take. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. I don't know. Well, actually, probably what we want. Probably want to lower that. Prioritize all of you. I think that's generally useful is always, since beavers can build 2 up, if I have this here, it'd be somewhat helpful to building up vertically here. And I can then also mark you for destruction. So what are we thinking? We are thinking that we've gotten there. How are we at wood here? Yeah, this is getting to actually import your wood there. You have more than enough, that's good. It takes 3 to 5 to start on a new map to figure out the correct building placement, depending on how many logs at the start. Interesting. Interesting. Droughts are 8 to 60 days. Bad water. What's the handicap? Like how many cycles does it go from 8 to 60? So what we're doing here is there's no variation in our wet season. It's set to a specific amount, but our handicap is actually 100 cycles starting at 1%. And I really like that because it creates the structure where you just grow a little bit every cycle. All right, how are we doing on wood here? Oh, I did this and that was never actually useful. Damn, man. I would be very curious to see how you play the game. Or I'd be curious for a seed. Or like a map recommendation. Just to see how it goes. You said you were playing, I think, Caverns, is what you mentioned before. I will give it a shot. Oh, and the other thing is, do you play Folktales or Iron Teeth? I imagine Folktales, but I was just wrong about the wet season. So maybe I'm wrong about this one as well. Okay, we're starting to get to both on each map. I assume you probably feel similar, or like, I don't know. Do you feel similar to me that Folktales food is much easier to get started? So whenever I've played Iron Teeth, I've done like the 300% settings. and it's just really hard to get up and running. About 3/4 of your beavers are food or water. That's at 300%. So you being at 5x, it just feels like you're like you have one beaver hopping around between your building and your like discovering job and your plank worker and all of those jobs to trying to figure out all the things they can do. This is interesting. Very interesting. All right, how are we doing on this game? We're just nowhere near. More important, energy is easier with folktales. Windmills are so useful. Yeah, windmills, honestly, the combination of windmills and gravity barrier, I feel like is a little bit overpowered because they cancel each other out, right? They cancel the like dynamicness of the windmill. So it's interesting. Oh, we're getting close to filling up on water. Here, so honestly, that's probably right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna finish you up, gonna finish that, and then we're gonna grab the rest of you. And you know what? We're also going to grab a few more of that. I don't know if I want to build that there, so I'm gonna chill on it for just a second. Folktales for food. I rush towards bread with iron. So I actually think cattails are more efficient than bread, and it really comes down to the recipe for the gristmill. The gristmill produces them twice as quickly, and then when you plant, cattails is 8 days for 3, and wheat is 10 days for 3. It's a little bit trickier because you need the water, but yeah, it's generally how I think about them. I don't know if you relate. Folktales for Iron Teeth. I rush towards corn rations. Yeah, so Iron Teeth. Whenever I played on higher difficulties, I avoid even doing the intermediary goods. Anything up until corn rations, I find is mostly a waste or is a distraction. And one of the reasons is that it means that your beavers have to walk further because they have options for food. And so they have the kohlrabis and then the mangrove fruits are kind of the big two that I like with Iron Teeth. I don't know if you feel similar. Okay. It looks like we're at least getting a 10-day cycle. It looks like we're close to finishing this up. We really could rush a bunch of these things. And honestly, we're in a great position. You need not new. Apologies. Oh no, your English is great. I'm having. Well, that last message I'm not understanding. You need not new. Cattails, you need the filters to be building at the main water spring before, no? So you need the only thing you need is the aquatic farmhouse, which I guess is a little bit out of the way, but I tend to think these buildings are actually not that bad to build because grilled spatterbox are somewhat efficient. They're not as inefficient as some of the Iron Teeth buildings. I don't know. I generally think the cattail crackers is like the go-to one. But I don't know. I'm also not playing as 5x consumption, so maybe I will learn something new when I do that. 800 signs. We really just don't have enough beavers doing this, do we? We have one here, 94% efficiency. Great. We have 1, 2. Globally, we have 8 pups. We have 5 here. 3 here. We can honestly increase our working day at this point. Lower you 1. Increase you by 1. We're near the gears. Are you close to your gears? You should be fine. Nice. Okay. Um, one thing I worry about, and let me know if you guys see this in my stream. Like I'm a little jerky with a lot of my motions, and I wonder how that feels for a viewer. Right? This is just like I'm in it, and so I feel it. But I would definitely love some feedback on if these motions feel appealing. One thing I would love is a mod that like just stays in one spot, and I can just plant the camera for people to view, and then work from there, because I think that would actually be a much better view from a someone playing the game. All right, let's see if we get the drought. Let's see if we get a bad tide. The end of day 7, start of day 8. No new news. Okay, sure. You don't mind the movement. Thank you, Wisco. Thank you for the feedback. Playing the same way. Yeah, it's definitely a nicer way to play. But this game is just so beautiful. I think it would be so nice to be able to just like pan and see like this view and just watch it. So, I don't know. General thought. Any idle beavers? No, that's good. How am I doing? You're filling up. How many days until you fill up? This is a good mod. I don't know, Kinshak, if you know this mod. There's like a storage consumption mod or something like that that allows you to see how long until you fill up things and use things. Very helpful. And I see you wrote a message. Let me read that out. Sure, what I was trying to say is to have a steady water level, you need to use sluices and have a mitigation chamber to exit bad water from over the rocks at your main water spring to be able to have cattails in your river. Yes, that's absolutely true. This map in particular gives you a nice clean exit for your bad water, so it's not that much of a worry. Some maps are different in that regard, and so definitely depends on the map. But that's also like wheat is somewhat similar, right? Unless you're building the 3x3 piles where that you can automatically feed in water. And I was saying how to Wisco how I generally don't, because they take up a beaver. They take up a precious beaver that I could be using somewhere else. But I'm curious if you are using the water dumps to kind of take advantage of them, because otherwise you have the same problem with wheat, right? Wheat is it will eventually either it dies really quickly if there's any like loss of water. So. Alright, this is finishing up. This is close to finishing up. That's awesome. It's awesome. Oh, this is too far from beavers. Let's make sure we have beavers able to go there. Yeah, I want this. I'd actually prefer building some of these faster. I don't like when you run out of a resource and then beavers end up just bringing one at a time. I find that a little bit too inefficient for what I want to do. Alright, so we're pumping here. This one's going to be filling up in 11 days, which is not... Oh, but we've also finished this one. I think this got finished before I wanted it to. But that's awesome. Right, so now we have 4 water pumps. This one is on max. This one's on max. What are we doing? 78, 86, 86, 89. I don't know. I dig 2x2 canals with gears at the bottom to irrigate and have energy all over the map. But that seems late game, right? This seems like after you get irrigation. That's similar to when you get sluices, if not after, right? Because if I remember correctly, landscaping dynamite requires metal blocks. Using dam over a sluice to have a steady water level. Yeah. Yep. Oh, rough. That's why that happened. Okay. We're gonna do a few more things. That's pretty important. And then in that world, that's also important. That's actually probably more important because that will help with building that block. Oh, I fucked this up. I should have like built the stairs somewhere here, and that would allow my viewers to go that way. It's a little too late to to undo that mistake, but we will see. You have no more planks, so I'm just gonna pause that because if you don't have planks, you're not gonna get the things done. Oh, what happened here? Okay. You must be near the end of your population. A few things. Oh, damn. We need you. Well, no. You're gonna be... Oh, that was weird. Alright. Start of day 9. Can use small storage for bridges. Yeah, I do that particularly with it when it comes to building up and down. I have mixed feelings about that. If on the one hand I think like path, it's weird that small storage is less efficient than platforms. But since that's the case, should you just take advantage of it? Alright, what are we getting? Are we getting a bad tide or are we getting a dry season? Bad tide is going to be 12 days. Not that bad. Dry season, on the other hand, is going to be... Oh. Oh, we get one more day. So we get... I miscounted then. Bad season... Or dry season is going to be 32 days. It's going to be a bit tough. Gonna be a bit tough. I need a third one there. I need a third one there. And then I probably should pause that because we're close to good water. I need just like 2 more of you. So honestly, well, let's just pause planks. I'm gonna want planks soon, but are you? No, you're not active. There's a decent amount of that, so in that sense, I don't. Where am I lacking workers? Oh, wow. We are back to science. That's awesome. It's in game, so we can sue it behind. So we can use it, yeah. Yeah, the one of the things I generally think is that this game is very good about encouraging early game micromanagement that ultimately becomes late game macro management. That you just like don't care about the early game micromanagement. And so a thing that I'm okay with that fits this category is sometimes I'll switch storage between 2 districts. And the reason I think that's fine is because eventually I'll unlock a building that does it automatically. And so it fits the theme of like early game, you have to like do a lot of low energy intensive things. But late game, you can just take advantage of a building that does the thing for you. Oh boy, I've been fucking up. Not I've been fucking up, I just completely forgot about all of my other beavers and their other things that they're doing. And so I have a bunch of food that has been growing, but that they don't use a lot of. Yeah, it should be fun. I really do need a second one of you at some point, just simply because my population's starting to get high. How are we doing on food here? Highlands map? Are you talking about terraces? If you're talking about terraces, terraces is probably one of my favorite maps. I've played like that map has also gone through a bunch of changes, and I've played probably every iteration of it. It's definitely one of my favorite maps. So that's what you're saying. Oh, I need. Interesting. I need like. Gears. This is another thing that I think is super useful, and I'm sure you know all about it, is making sure that I just saw beaver going down here, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And it went to drop off gears, right? And that's because it didn't have a closer place to drop it off. So always making sure that there's a really close place to drop things off, super important. Oh, and by the way, we have enough gears to solve this. So let's mark that high. Mark both of those high, honestly. Fun. The two of you. Oh boy. We have a little bit more to be doing before our thing ends. We have enough time. We have quite a few constraints. Here, we have quite a few food constraints. Here, honestly, we really haven't been thinking about this one too much. Ultimately, I just want to bring it up another level. There's an interesting question of, do I think I should chop that out, or if I should just chop that out, or if I should instead use a beaver to just pull it out. I generally am fine with either, so. Well, I generally prefer chopping it out, because I prefer, like, this is 2 logs. Not critical, but it's useful. The Highlands. Is that a I don't think that's part of the base game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Bad Tide. Okay. Bad Tide is fine for a bunch of reasons, but it's challenging for a few more. We have 2 logs now. One thing I don't like is how when the wood gets on the wrong side. I just don't want to have to deal with that. So we have a few things that are important to finish, particularly on this side of the map. On this side of the map, honestly, I don't care. I really don't. I don't care. All of these decisions are now different. What I would rather do, take advantage of this wood, I'm gonna break you. I'm gonna prioritize you. Hopefully you can be done in time. A little bit challenging to do. I'm also gonna do a storage as absurdly close as possible to where it's going to be used, because that's also important. Right, first it's gonna be that. Those two. How many do I have? I have 2. This would be useful. I don't think I'm gonna be able to take advantage of it in time. This is important. So, priorities. Building this up to tier 2 would be great. But I don't know if I'll get that time. Let's see what it can look like. Pause that. Definitely pause that. Can I get to 3 beavers? You're doing great on that. Pause that. Have you prioritized? If I can get... Honestly... No, I need 3. Just need adults here. And I got 2 more. I think I can do it. I think you're fine. Make sure you're paused. Let's make sure you're unpaused because there's a lot of wood going there. Let's make sure you're prioritized there. Right. You can, I think you could do it. I think this could be done. How confident am I? I don't know. Let's do you last. Beavers can gather, build safely. Anything behind a diagonal made from 2 levees need far more stored water. Yeah, I do need more stored water. How are we doing there? How are we doing there? Do I want to start unplugging you? Yeah. 2 more days. Let's see what's paused then. Oof. How are we doing on planks? Put batter docks. Carrots. Let's see if we can do that. What, a third? Need far more stored water. Yeah, I keep thinking about that. Yeah, you need to exist in water. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything else I should be doing. I honestly... You know what? I'm gonna lower you. I'm gonna raise you to 2. No, I'm gonna raise you to 3. The reason I want the beavers here is because they are closer to the water supply. I actually have a 12-day wet season, so I should be. It's not bad. If it was the 32-day drought, that would be tough, and that I would be worried about. Let's make sure that gets prioritized most. That got built. That was great. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for your stream. See you another day. Kinchak, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing the Canadian, I forget what you called it, but I will be writing this down. Canadian Mountie rules. In fact, I'm just going to paste it in Discord right now so I don't forget. Canadian Mountie rules. Awesome. And then love it. Useful. I look forward to trying it. BB, don't forget to follow. Oh, Wisco, you the best, man. You are the best. Yeah, I probably should be asking for that. Yeah, I don't know. Self-promotion's hard. Actually, I mean, it's probably necessary in this, but I don't know. I'm always like, follow if you want, you know? It's just a very different vibe than please follow or however. Oh, this, yeah, you done. Okay, how are we doing here? Prioritize you. Let's get those logs out. We're gonna do a few more days. Let's see. That's almost done. Oh, one thing I definitely wanted is change that. I'm glad I stopped. Well, no, you need to exist. You need to exist. You need to exist too. In fact, follow alert. Wisco, you are clutch. Very helpful. Very helpful. Okay, looks like we're building that, which means we're honestly very close to finishing you. Which is cool. Yeah, this isn't gonna be fast enough. It would be great if it was, but it won't be. What are you building in the meantime? Probably building you. Hopefully you're not building anything there. You probably should eventually build something there. Oh, I don't need to redo how that was done. This was before I had. And again, always think about those straight lines. Few days. Honestly, I'm betting it. I think I can do it. In that world, I really want both of these done cleaned up. To give myself the real maximum amount. Logs are fine there. Oh man, how are you doing on logs? Nice. Okay. That'll be fine. This is not going well at all. Ideally, this would go along the path, but I didn't want to risk bad water contaminating my beavers. And so that's why I chose the way I did it. Really? It's probably too many. Probably care about the other way around. Getting close. I might be able to do it. Could I build 2, 4, 6, 5 levees and a floodgate? No, I don't think I could. I really don't think I could. And in that vein, I won't. I will start thinking about raising these though. It's now up to 9. This, I'm gonna go up to like 7.5. This should honestly generally be like 9.5, something like that. Well, this should be 9.5. And that's almost done. That's great. And in that world, I don't need anywhere near as many of these things. I can do that. Well, I'm gonna keep you on 2 just because 2's a good amount. And then I'm gonna drop you. It's gonna take a little bit. It's gonna take no time to build you. Let's make sure that's truly the highest priority. Where's my injured beaver? Okay, we're fine. You're gonna be done quickly. You're gonna build like right to here before getting stuck. Okay. Oh, you know it's worth probably doing? Oh, you don't need to exist. Right. Oh, yeah, that's gonna flood. I don't know if I care that much at this moment, though. Bro, what? No. Oh, no. Okay. I should have been monitoring this. We can fill you up for some amount of time. Are you flowing out somewhere? Why does it feel like it's flowing out somewhere? It's weird. I really thought I'd have this. I'm not super worried. 12-day bad tide, not the worst. Oh, maybe because I pulled this off. I see. As soon as I pulled that off, we now went to the lower tier. Oh, guess what? We finally have enough science for observatories. I'm actually only going to put this at 9.5. I worry too much that this is going to lead to some sort of catastrophe. Okay, where are we at? Oh wow, that's actually was more than I was expecting from it. Not enough to do it, but Oh, I should have had that higher. Whatever. Things happen. 12 days. We'll be okay. I want to make sure nothing goes over there. This is probably the easiest. Not perfect, but probably the easiest. And the question is, do I already want to be thinking about? I'm going to pause you. You're good. I'm going to pause you. I'm going to pause you. Ultimately, I'm going to pause you as well. You're not near where I want you to be, though. Let's hope the bad water doesn't spread. Oh, boy. Okay. We're going to demolish that. That'll really rocket through a bunch of the bad water. Shit. Come on. Come on. Doesn't look like it's getting better. Oh, it's getting better a little bit. There we go. There we go. There we go. Perfect. We're done. Awesome. Alright, so we're in quite a good situation for a few things. This is honestly a great situation to be in for a few reasons. Bad tides are helpful, particularly here, because now we can be thinking oh, it doesn't allow me now. I want to be moving over. Is there a world where I actually snake this here first and then move it up? And that allows me to... No, it's about the same thing. I'm going to build another set of these. And I'm going to build them a little bit differently. One is they're going to be back a little bit. The reason for that is I want space to include anything that's needed. And then two is I'm going to build in the opposite order. First that's going to come online is gears, and then planks, because planks I want closer to the wood, which is in this direction. Not a whole lot closer at the end of the day, but it's the order I want them in. Okay. What are we at for gears for science? A lot of planks, a bunch of gears. We're not far off in terms of planks and gears. We do want then to build that. Oh wow, this is close. So finish you. Let's build that. And then maybe a thing we do care about is power. No power. Oof. How are we doing? Gears, Spatter Docks. Let's get you up and running again. Let's drop you down to 1. Let's drop you down. Well. Oh boy. Someone's running across that. This is too narrow. Interesting. For now, we're just not gonna think about you. Ideally, I'd dynamite this a little bit to clean this up. But that does beg an interesting question. Okay, we're pumping here. Globally on water storage, filled in 5 days. How are we doing on food here? No, we're back to this problem. Yeah. gonna eventually put some water here, so I'm gonna start thinking about it. We definitely have a food problem. And so since we are close to building everything, right, we're gonna be building you, and we're gonna build that. And then finally it's going to be that. And also, like, you're gonna be such low priority at that point. Let's make all of them low priority. Oh, you have, honestly, let's get you. Let's just clean up the food. We just need more food here. And that'll be fun. Once we get enough food, we'll be doing all right. Should we think about more housing? I think we should. Ah, I knew it. This is ultimately a steady position. Let's build you. I'm wondering if it's worthwhile coming over here. Chopping is one. Ah, that lines up actually quite well there. So I'd line this up, and then the question is, maybe I build there. Right, and the reason for that is I can get, I'm gonna leave an extra space. I can get a water wheel. I can do something like this. And this would, for the price of some planks, get me more planks. I don't know. I have to think about this. So I'm not deciding it yet. And I want to leave a gap because I imagine myself carving that out as soon as I have dynamite. Alright, we're doing great. We're gonna get... I'm gonna pause all of these. So that I can think about what to not pause anymore. Do I have bread storage? I do. Awesome. Well, no. Not yet. Eventually I do want that to be a large water tank. But I have a few more spots that are pretty valuable for me. That'll probably happen first. One of them's probably that. Put you down right there. You're near planks. I don't need that much. Okay. I'm gonna unpause you just so that there's someone to overflow into. Particularly as I imagine. Great. If you put the wheel one more up, you will get more power out of it. You're talking about this one, right? Because it's narrowest there, and it'll be a little bit less. Yes. There's two constraining thoughts here. One is more power, and the other is what do I want to do in the future? And I think as I add more things into the future, what I'll want to do is dynamite through here. And then, actually, I guess a big one is what happens when I move back. And so I want two things. And if I leave this gap right here, either one, I move this main road, which I don't want to move. I could move that. It's not the biggest deal. And then the other constraint is, or I leave an extra gap and I don't have, I have like a water spot that's moving that's not being used. But yeah, you can see the thing you're talking about, right? Water here goes immediately there. But I know I'm eventually going to dynamite this. And so I'm thinking about that already. Am I able, how close am I to this? No, not this. I'm near the gears, which means I'm close to being able to pause gears and then just rush that. There's a lot of bad water there. This is all bad water. You're in a center boat. I don't need that many gears. You're surprisingly not dead, which is crazy. So you might survive it, which is quite wild. But let's see where we're at. Beaver is injured. Yeah. I'm gonna start getting more and more beaver injuries. Injured beavers. How are we doing? Depth of 1.51. Okay, we went from in about a little, well, 2 days. 2 days we went 0.4. It's actually not great. You're still growing, surprisingly. Are you growing? You're not growing. You're not growing. And you are pretty efficient. I do a few things. Alright, we can pause you. Oh, 3 beavers don't know what to do? Is it this? It is this district. That's interesting. Do you know? I'm gonna do you, but you're not that great. Maybe a thing I can think about. Oh, I will think about it. Not that. But roughly that. One, because there's already a lot of wood here. And so it's not that bad to expand your... Right. And this will help with that big constraint we have, or the idea that we're slowly losing water here. And as we do that, as we lose water, we'll eventually want to fill it up, but still, or we'll want something else to take over its need. So I'm starting to get water or wheat flour. And so given that it takes 0.5 to create wheat flour, and then let's say what does it take to create bread? It takes 1 wheat. Well, hold on. These line up exactly? No, it takes 0.5 and then it takes 1. No, we could already turn this on then. Wait, let's turn you on. Turn these back on. I'll lower some of them. Alright. Where are we at? This would be such a great place to dam up. I would love to dam this up. Right, I can dam this up, then this gets filled in. I take a lot advantage of, I can get water all the way around here, all the way here. I get a small little dam there. I can fill up water here. I can dam this up a little bit. I can dam this up. Yeah, that would be an incredible dam. That would be really where I want to dam. Takes a bit. Gonna take a bit. .3 science. We have overshot our science needs at the moment. But I don't know if I really want to do anything yet. Are you building something that's costing me? Maybe. Maybe you're building this. Let's wait for you a little bit. Let's grab you. Oh, let's hope you're not being built. Are you being built? You're a useful thing to build. Because you produce wood. How many planks would this take? I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'll do it. At the end of the day, I build this, it builds, this is 4, 8, 16, 20, 24 planks. 24 planks to get a new source of plank production. Yeah. Yeah, it's worth it. Just simply because that was pausing too much. And what I want instead is now I can chop you. Let's grab 2 of these. Oh, thank God for the mod that keeps everything. Planted. Very useful. Well, no, I don't need that all that much, do I? No, what I'm gonna do, move you. I'm gonna put you. I don't even know if I need you. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe eventually I'll want something. Okay. There we go. These are definitely low priority ones, but they're valuable enough. This, you should honestly be a plank. You're 1. Yeah, you're not that important. Science. I just don't need that many. One beavers? That's weird. Oh, it's over here. Same problem as before. Let's fill these in. 1, 2. And we have the world's batter docks. We want to fill that in. Let's grab 1 more beaver working. Got a ton of wood. Not a real ton, but a decent amount. Got a decent amount of wood. Oh, we've started grabbing you. So we can grab you. I like setting this as high priority because this is going to get flooded. And as soon as this gets flooded, I want you to stop working. But that's great because you're going to get flooded right around the time we're in a wet season. And then you get unflooded right in the time we probably care about you doing something else. I thought I turned you on for a good reason. But now it's really looking like... Alright, a few things. One is let's get a few things in place. All valuable things. Alright, let's prioritize planks over gears. Where are those planks going? Probably to the gears, maybe? I guess that does make sense. You're probably the most important thing to do. Oh! Pause you. What are you doing? Interesting. I guess that's where a bunch of planks are going. That is not great. That was a big risk. In fact, I'd probably be more neutral about you. I do eventually want to move planks. And this is eventually going to be stone or metal. Because here I'm going to start building out my next phase of the build. So much. How are we doing here? 22 planks. But guess what? You know what I need? I need a few things. One of which is you're not an efficient path at the moment. So let's make sure that the efficient path does exist. Let's drop a few things. One is storage of water as close as possible, because everything is going to be running in that direction. And also you. And then lastly, you're going to happen. So you're going to be back there. That's going to be most important. Then we can prioritize you. And in fact, I can prioritize you like that, because eventually you are eventually you're going to debris gets picked up after the logs get picked up, and so it will happen in the order I want it to happen. What are you? What is... Now is the question of what am I going to be getting next? Probably grilled chestnuts. All of this is going to make all of these things more efficient. At this point in the world, you're probably an well, let's prioritize you. Let's go. Ooh, this is getting close. 1.2. Not bad. Not terrible. But in that world, we want you to switch over to planting. And you're going to switch over to that. Because all of these, well, we're going to put you back at planting. But we're going to mark all of these as... because I know they're going to go dry soon. You don't have enough to fill. Now there's two. Do I want you to exist? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I do a thing I've also thought about, which is getting these. I think so. I think it's time. Ladder time. And the reason this is helpful is this unlocks another source of wood. Probably more important than the other things I'm building anyway. Yeah, I built this. Yeah, somewhat helpful, but not super helpful. Another thing I know I'm going to need soon is just more well-being in the form of medical beds. Simply because pretty soon we're going to be have so many beavers in these roles. You're consuming enough. I mean, 5 days, we're getting close. We're almost done. We're almost done. Pine resin's almost done. I want to get a decent amount of pine resin. And that's simply because I know we use it for treated planks. Treated planks require 1 pine resin for treated plank. And so when we think about this, every piece of pine resin can get us, every 10 pieces of pine resin can get us 1 of these. So 200 will give us 20 of these, more than enough for late game. Prioritize this a little bit. Let's also grab that. I wonder what this water's at. As soon as this water's done, I really could start thinking about this. I'm not going to be able to take advantage of this for nearly as much as I thought I was. But let's give it a shot. We have a lot of gears. Is it here? We have some gears here. We have some gears here. I want more planks. Those planks are about to be used. But as soon as we have that, then we're chopping here. And honestly, this is the start of our climb up here. Lots of wood up here. Super useful for us. It's a little bit far away. It's a little bit too far away for us to do it with this village. We could think about building our own little village over here, and there's a few spots that actually make it pretty easy to dam up. And we can dam up quite a bit over here. Maybe that's what we'll think about, because as soon as we do that, we get a lot more wood. Here, actually, I want to finish you because I want. I do want that. You know what I need? I need more low tier. Nice. Okay. Starting to get enough carrots. Starting to lose out on this. We're starting to get bread. You're full, you're full. You're getting there. Oh no, you're working on you. Okay. Oh. So worth switching over. It is worth switching over. The reason I switched them over at the same time is because often I forget. And so I just ran out of wheat. Oh, there's more. But I ran out of wheat, and so I can start working on cattail crackers. And I can do that without... Well, I have so much of that. That's actually... That's just pausing you. Maybe you should have been back. Oh, awesome. Let's get you. And let's finish you up. Let's do it. You're done. And honestly, you don't need to exist in the same form. Well, you're probably the better one then. No. Okay, you can't be done. You're gonna go all the way around. Great. Oh no, you go diagonal. Fine. You're a super important thing to do. So let's just do that. Okay. We're back to... Okay, let's see what this is. This is at 439 power output. Okay. So I don't doubt that if this was one higher, it would be better power output. And I could have also just made this a levy to get that higher output. But it's just so much more than I need that it doesn't matter right now. It may matter later, which is why I'm worried about the later situation. I pause you. I just don't need you working. What do I need being built? Let's build this. Let's build that. Let's think about things that don't require much in terms of planks. And then let's think about these three. And we can think about that. In fact, that is probably more important. I think it's worth doing. Is it worth chopping you? Yeah, it's worth chopping. Oh, I have... So I can do that. And then after that, let's make sure that's getting done. In fact, let's make that a medium priority. Let's make that low priority. How are we doing on logs here? We're not fine. We're fine. There we go. We're at, and you don't need to exist, or you don't need to be prioritized. I also want to start thinking about what damming this off is going to look like, because I don't want that's roughly it. That's fine. I want to irrigate all of this land. What this is, irrigated as possible. Okay, how are we feeling? We're close to depleting all of our water. No, sorry. Not close to depleting. We're close to the end of the tide. And we're pretty fine on water. I'm going to replace these with some potatoes. No good selected. I don't know. I probably have way too much of some of this. In fact, I probably won't. I'm going to mark this as empty just so it doesn't pop up, but eventually I want to mark it as one of the goods I can accept from elsewhere. And in fact, one of the things I can think about now that I've done that, is do I want to start thinking about a district crossing, right? And what I'll want to do is climb this ladder here. It's a little inconvenient. I don't want to move it because it's in that street. And this one's going to go here. And now oh, this is on the wrong one. Yeah, all this needs to be marked low because I don't want to be building this anytime soon. Well, not anytime soon. I don't want to be building it right now. Whoa, I have built a lot of things though. You're starting to be important. Honestly, let's do you two. You're not invaluable enough. Or not, like, bad enough. Lots of gears. Let's get you higher. We're in a good spot. We're in a good spot. One of the things we can start thinking about is scavenger flags. And after that, what's after that? Scavenger flags and smelters. And then moving on up the observatory tree. What do we want? That's more than enough. 156. We're fine. 50 gears. Let's pause that. And since we're pausing that, we are finally making our way to here. A thing I want to do. This is like a weird thing that I realized would be better. Is by moving this here, I can then... Oh, and we're done. This is the most important thing to be doing right now. But then it's you. How close are you to them? You're not very close. Oh, and I can finally do this. Yeah, I've been anticipating this for a while. You're like up there. Actually, you're pretty important. But not more important than the observatory. 1,000 science. Workplace is going to be a little bit lower priority. How are we going to get power? Is there anything in between where I can... No, I really can't, huh? Can I do something where I do that and... Nope. How high up would I have to be? Even there? No. That's weird. What about the other one? What about the other one on a platform? The other one on a platform still doesn't work. That's... Okay, whatever. Honestly, whatever. What we're gonna do? Build you out. That. Port one, it's that. Let's get all the planks there. We have enough for a triple floodgate. I think is this worth it? Is this worth it? Yeah, probably. It's probably worth it because it'll save just a ton of manual work later down the line. And then I can set this at that. A very low amount. Oof. Beavers should not be going there. You guys are gonna get sick. Beavers are gonna get sick. But that does also allow me to build through here, which is awesome. Oh, it does help with so many things. This has been a long time coming. A long time coming, honestly. Let's unsynchronize you. Let's set you guys up to 9. We're going to do a similar thing. Well, not up. Let's set you guys up to 5. A little bit lower. Start moving you in that direction. You're going to be unsynchronized. You're going to be like just barely. So that you do create that threshold. Oh, and then, nice. Let's grab you. We have the planks for it. We have the levers. We have 2 of you working. That'll be great. This is perfect. Okay. You're pretty important. Oh, this isn't... There's no path right here. A little frustrating. What do we want here? I don't know. Maybe we want... bread? Yeah, whatever. How many do you have? Oh, okay, let's get up. Let's up those numbers. Starting to clear out water. is going to be good. I'm also going to show the trick that I was talking about here. I'm going to pause these. Mark them red just because, like, I like the visualization. And that helps us sync all of our floodgates. And we can do the same thing here. Go bam, bam, bam. And then really we're like, but don't. And then it's synchronized to everything else. And so when we're like, oh, let's lower it, it lowers. Here we're going to set it up to, I think, 1.8. Is it worth? It's probably worth putting you right there, so you don't have to walk as far. Well, you are gonna be quick, so that is worthwhile. Let's make sure that's. I do want to build those, but they're just gonna take a little bit longer. How are we doing on planks here? How are we doing on all of our resources? Possible to build this faster. It is. Well, no, not anymore. You don't need to exist. Done. I really do. End of day 1. How are we doing? Almost done. You're at 2. Maybe I'll set you a little higher. Alright. Let's get this done. Let's make sure. Yeah, all of the other spots that were affected by the bad water. Let's make sure that they're oak, but that every place that wasn't is fine. I'm gonna move you over here. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna pause you because it's gonna take a long time for you to actually fill up. And maybe you should be the more important one. As much as it would be great to funnel all the water, it's probably more important that this water goes up higher, and there's going to be a ton of your necessary resources nearby, so you're super quick. Here, what do you got? I like you just enough to overflow. This one doesn't really. Oh, this one I do want a little bit. I want a reasonable amount. I want to start flowing. Alright, now, hopefully you're starting to move up. Now, hold on. Oh, in fact, a thing I can do here, similar to the other thing, is just make sure we have logs and planks coming right here. Oof, I really do need the water to come up. Just enough to get you going. Nice. Okay. I just needed it to get healthy for long enough that so that the water cycling reset. I'm gonna pause a few things and pause a few more. I really do need. How are we doing on food? Oh God. Why does this keep happening? Feels reoccurring at this point. It's me not getting enough food. So let me grab that. Do I want to? How are we doing? We just don't have enough beavers here. Why are you? With a lot of beds. Weird. Okay. Let's prioritize you. I really do need it. And in that world, honestly, one beaver is better. And I can get 2 haulers. I don't know if haulers are the right things I want right now. But if they can get it closer, this will be much faster. That's finally done. Okay. We were close. Oh, yes. Yes. We finally have the science buildings. And so I'm deleting all of my other ones. They're no longer necessary. Just taking things out. Oh no. Oh, well, that sucks. You're probably worth deleting at this point. In fact, there's a few more things that are probably worth deleting, including those 2. One is to get more it's too far. Let's unpause you, unpause you. All right. Oh, and I definitely want to do that. Let's make sure that's top tier priority there. Oh wow, so much died out. That was rough. That was rough. But I mean, we have a ton of food. We're not really lacking for food. Since we're not lacking for food, it's fine. Okay, where are we at? I'm gonna put that at 1.05. I need to finish this, like ASAP. You're getting close. Oh, nice. We have a lot. You're no longer necessary. Right, 15 planks. Now we just need the wood. Similar vein, what I'm gonna put you at. Well, I'm gonna put it 2. Well, 1.95. You're at 9. You're slowly coming this way. Honestly, in that world, you can also start filling up. You got the gears. Cool. Let's start doing a few things. In fact, we don't want you. Now that we have that, we can prioritize that. We can start thinking, how are we going to get up to 2 tiers? This is super helpful. Nothing to do with range. I could climb higher. Might be worth it. Probably not. Okay, let's get back to gears. Honestly, it's an interesting world where I do this. Not my favorite one. And the reason I would do this is because what I want to do is push all the water. Oh, I should have built. That's funny. You should be probably right here. If I can get water out from here, that'll be improving that. But honestly, as mentioned before. All right, mate, I'm going to leave you for now. Play some game or watch some stuff. You can hit me up on Discord if something else is going on. Oh, of course. Thank you, man. It's been a pleasure hanging out. Thank you for all the tips and advice, and thank you. Just generally really appreciated. If you've left already, well, that's it. But if you're still here, it's definitely been a pleasure. Come on. Oh, we're so close. There we go. Now this goes all the way around. And now we finally can start filling all this up. Oh, you need water. 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 We can also expand storage. Worth thinking about in both of these scenarios. How are we doing on gears? If we have a lot of gears, we're going to do that. And we don't. Well, we have a lot of gears. We don't have a lot of planks. But I do want to start thinking about that there. So. Well, in that world, then we do need to be doing this. Yeah, plank consumption's a bit high. Okay, and then we build up that, we get a little bit more. We finally fill this up. How are we doing on this? 1.3, so you can now be 1.3. Another bad tide. We're definitely more prepared for this bad tide. By a long shot. Hopefully this fills up soon. How are we doing on water? 1.38. Similar scenarios last time. There's no point in building this for a bad tide. On the other hand, if we can build that, take it there. Let's do it. Oh, there's two things that we would need. Well, does this actually interfere with our wants? One of our big wants is let me do a few things. I'm gonna scope out. Cheers, no problem. So glad you were here. Got to hear that. I think this might be the best spot for this. And in that world, I probably want that. That. It does look like there's a decent amount. Similar situation. Low priority. I'm just not going to build that in time. Maybe. What are we at? 16? No, I'm not going to build that in time. What I could think about doing is taking this and routing it over there. What would that look like? Let's be quick about it. Let's think of something. Well, I'd first need to build over to it. Probably just do that. I'd grab you. There. Now the question is what to do from here. There's a few options. I think the biggest one is actually just to go down. Right, and then I can there. Okay, slowly coming together. Right. Hold on, what? Oh no. Nope. There we go. Similar thing right here. What? Why are you saying it's blocked? Oh, it's too far. Right, so we're taking it there. Bam, bam. So sometimes I like doing the more expensive blocks. And the reason for that is if I ever want to test something later, it's a lot easier to do that. Okay, looking at this. Is this a worthwhile thing to do? Yes. I think the answer is absolutely. This will give me power, and I'm probably using too much. Even with these three. So it'll give me 3 days to prepare for that, which I think is a reasonable amount of time. I'll do, well, I want to chop that direction. So you'll end up like that. I don't know. Then you can go there. I don't know which one's better. I'll just do that for now. You're irrelevant. And then to get up here, I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4. And that'll be pretty good. You're not relevant really either. In fact, probably care more about that. Just get the wood out. There is a world where I build on top of this, so I'm going to clean this up in a different direction. Also does mean I want to unpause that and build that there. But yeah, let's grab that. How are we doing? How are we doing for water? What's this at? This is at 1.5. Okay, well, this just isn't growing fast enough, I guess. Let's get you up to 1.9. Oh, you were too high. In fact, then let's... Oh, no, I don't want to delete that because I'm going to teach you very soon. But that is kind of why this is slow. And it's a bit slow. Oh, something I just... Alright, this is getting filled up. Really getting a lot done there. It's gonna be a 16-day. It's not the worst. Oh, you know, it would have been nice. We just got a little bit more. Do I have a day and a half? I think I have it. I think what I would need is you to be prioritized. Yeah, I think this will be fun. This is probably the most important one. I want you actually afterwards. Let's do it. And let's get it. The reason I want this is just a little bit more storage of water. It's going to be super valuable for that last little bit of the drought. Because we really are going to be pushing it. We got 4. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Anything else here we want to do? We are prioritizing things we probably don't care about. You prioritizing oak? Similar vein. Nice, we finally have a decent amount. Oh, we don't have that much water. How do we feel about water here? Here we have a decent amount of water. Okay, so that's worth thinking about. Honestly, let's do that then. Oh, we're back up to 1.4K signs. 1,400 signs. Awesome. You're unable to get all of your recipes. What should we be doing? Should we be making more? Should we be making bread? We should be making bread. Cool. Alrighty, is it worth pausing now? We've been through a bit. Oh wow, you really are building something you don't really care about. That's not attached. 800. You should start chopping. You're hard to meet. In fact, the biggest thing, honestly, start filling you up. 10 more. Okay. So you're filled. Fill you up to 9. And in fact, it's worth dumping you a little bit just to make sure that gets filled. Nice, that got filled. And then we don't need it. And then water starts going out. Love it. Fill you up. Okay. At the start of a 16-day wet season, seems like a good time to call it. Actually gonna destroy that. We are doing tremendous progress on a bunch of things. We are so close. We can even unlock large windmills. Although what might be more valuable for us is getting gravity batteries, but that requires, there's no yeah, there's, oh, the only metal here is there. Do I see anything else? No. That would be a cool place to put water, honestly, if I can get it all the way over there. Be a bit of work. How are we doing? This has a decent amount of gears. You're honestly gonna start working on the smelter. So once we get that, that'll be so exciting. We don't have nearly enough water for here. We're gonna need to get another water. We have this one over here. Maybe we break you. Right, and we build a water here. Yeah, I think that'll be pretty necessary. Just because if we're going to need more water being filled across the map. We have a bunch of gears and planks. We should have gotten more water storage. We would have been able to, actually, we can do it right here. It's not super important right now because we're a little too late. Into our predicament, or into the, we're basically at capacity. Any new water is, well, I don't want to grab you for a while. We're gonna want to lower you. Right. We want you all the way up. We want you all the way down. We want you all... Wait. Oh, okay. I was like, wait a second, was this all the way up a second ago? It'd be nice if I had... Alright, I've talked about building this up. Maybe I should do that next time. I'll have a decent amount of wood coming in right here. It means a lot of this will be a lot safer. And it'll be worth damming across. It'll be worth doing something like... Right. And that way I can get even more. I can start getting a steady supply of that. That's actually pretty good. I'll probably want something like right there. In fact, what I'll probably end up wanting is like build that. Because then you could store up a bunch of this logs and then it'll be super easy to build its way across. And then we're starting to get to the point where bad tides are somewhat damaging and somewhat have their issues and are challenging. So, where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? How are we at gears and planks here? We're up there. Starting to have good, consistent science. Starting to have good, consistent. We're gonna want to pause you. Move you over there. Yeah, this should be roughly what we're at. A dry season would help us build this. But we won't have a dry season to do that. And the reason is because we want to irrigate more of this. We just want much more irrigation. Much more irrigation. This is easy to dam off and over. When I think about the water containment for the bad water rig, gears is a lot. What about this one? Here. Yeah, I'll probably end up doing this first. Because this I can just get capped off. Both districts can work towards this. And once that happens, you're probably gonna move up here. Maybe I get a different way. Oh, let's make sure. Yeah. Once I get up here, probably also want a way around it. Because then that can take me up here, and I can finally unblock. Well, I want to unblock that side. So either I'll wait for a dry season, which is probably the easiest way, honestly. Wait for it to dry, unblock there, and then I've unblocked both of these, and then this dam is huge. And I finally secured this colony for another go. Is there one or two of these? I think there's only one here. Yeah. Spill out that way. I do want to eventually get that. This bad water can just be thrown off this way, and then we have a lot. This could even be dammed up twice. Decent amount of water. I really will need bots at that point. And we're starting to get 1.5k science. It's enough to get basically all of our bot buildings. Once we get a lot more potatoes. Basically want to do that. Just need more potatoes. Once I connect these districts, actually that'll help out a lot. Because you will be able to feed the other district, and then the other district will be able to take advantage of the fact that you have certain foods. I might also want to consider Not grilled spider though. Probably you. Right, I want... You're pretty valuable. In fact, you're essential. Then that. And then I'm building that. They're pretty important. Honestly, you're probably more important than that one. You're critical. Yeah, I will build this during the bat season, and it will require all these extra planks. But I won't really care because I'll have a few things going in my favor. One of them being that I'll have this, I'll be able to make this more consistent, and I'll have 2 planks. Oh, I forgot about you as a bad water source. If you weren't a bad water source, and you're an easy one to redirect, honestly, you just more water here. Much more, an easier place to dam. Yeah, maybe I redirect you. I dam off, I just have a lot more of a dam. And then I could drop something. That's interesting. Another one is like, yeah, I'll be able to get so much water here. If I dam off you and I dam off there, and just have all of this is water. It's gonna take so long. It's gonna take a while. Okay. Okay. Oh, last thought. Let's make sure this gets closed off. Yeah, let's make sure all of that gets closed off. And in fact, no point. Well, I do like having that. Oh, yeah. You need a rush. Might even be worth destroying all three of these other ones as well, just to make sure there's all this water's pumping through. And in that world, also probably want to. Thing is that nothing's connected to it at the moment, but that doesn't need to be the case. All right, there's 2 spots right here. I'll connect one of them, honestly. I'll connect one of them, and then we'll just have a tremendous amount of power going through. Such an awkward spot for buildings. It's either that. Like, that is a good one, but then what's next? Could be that. Push you out that direction. Just need a little bit. Whatever. Decision for another day. Should have prioritized you sooner. You're almost done, and that'll be great. Once you finish, we will slowly migrate to other places. Where else are we going to migrate to? Probably migrate to here. Okay. I don't want to play this drought or this bad season, so I won't. And that's it. I'm gonna call it there. In a pretty good position. I have a 16-day drought or a 16-day bad tide, which isn't that bad. In fact, the 32-day bad tide that's coming at some point, or 32-day drought that's coming at some point, is really what's going to drive me. But we are close to bots, and bots really change the game here. Bots will really allow us to build, let's just get all the way across the map to finish this up. And we'll also potentially, and not anytime soon, be able to improve upon our ability to get water or divert water. One thing I'm thinking about is I can divert this bad water under other water all the way to the edge and then out. And then in that world, let's never care about this bad water here. And then bad water, we have access to all this extra water during the bad water. Okay. Well, thank you all for your time. It's been a pleasure. And I will see you on